Welcome to the APTA Network presented by eNet Live. I'm joined today by Scott Bondurant, the newest president of the American Platform Tennis Association. Scott, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm excited and really honored to have this position and really looking forward to doing what I can to help the game.
Terrific. Now, you've got a long history in platform tennis dating back to the days in Fox Meadow. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah. So from age 5 to 10, I lived in Scarsdale, New York. We belonged to Fox Meadow and Nursing Island Club, and my parents played, and brother and sister were out, and so I just kind of thought paddle was a normal thing. And by the way, I thought it was a really big deal, and I guess that stuck with me pretty much my whole life. So I've known the game for a long time, and I've got additional family relations. Mom's sister was Lucy McAvoy.
Hall of Famer Lucy Bell McAvoy.
Lucy McAvoy, and cousin Tim McAvoy, who really helped me get started in the game when I moved back to the
another Hall of
East
Famer.
Coast. And he has been, a mentor to me and just a wonderful ambassador for the sport. And so all that has, enabled me to have great ties to the game.
Now, some people have told me that you were the father of platform tennis in Atlanta as well. How did that come about?
That's definitely a little bit of a stretch, but I had picked up the game. I was living in Atlanta, and I got the opportunity, business-wise, to move down to Atlanta. And
living in Chicago.
Sorry, living in Chicago. I got the opportunity to move to Atlanta, and there wasn't a lot of paddle going down there, and I wanted to play. And I got a used court on Wensia after they put some new courts up, and a club in Chicago, and so I put one up down there at the Ansley Golf Club, and I was able to get a bunch of tennis players out there and have some fun for the couple of years I was down there. And really, Peter Lauer is really the father of the game and has single-handedly really championed the sport and really grown the game down there, doing a fantastic job.
Okay. So we're here at the Patterson Club in Fairfield County, Connecticut, for the first of the new Grand Prix Series. Can you tell us a little bit about what the APTA is hoping to accomplish there?
Yeah, this is really exciting. When I was fortunate enough to be nominated for this role, there was chatter about the potential for doing some sort of tournament series. And we got a group together and ended up forming a tournament committee and said, hey, let's see if we can't get top tournaments from different regions around the country, showcase the amazing talent that we have in the game right now, particularly at the top level, and generate some more excitement. And as a part of this also, see if we can't really kind of professionalize and the tournaments we run and run them in a much more consistent basis. And so that's really our goal, and we hope that will enable us to broaden the appeal and awareness of the sport to more folks.
Okay. Now, I know there's a lot going on with the APTA these days, a lot of initiatives, and a lot of people say, well, why should I join the APTA? And I thought you'd be the best person to answer that question.
Well, there is an awful lot going on. So, I guess the first thing I'd say is folks, understandably don't really know that much of what's going on at the APTA. So, it's a great opportunity for just to spend a few minutes and talk about it.
Well, why don't we start off with the APTA mission statement? What does that say?
So basically, the mission of the APTA, which I fervently believe in, is to govern the sport, to grow participation, and to improve all aspects of the game. And so, we're trying to come up with things that further that mission, and so that's really everything we do at the APTA is designed to fulfill this mission. I would say, in terms of what the APTA brings, first of all, we're the governing body, and we're blessed with people that love this game and often are enormously addicted to this game. And it is important for any sport to have a governing body, and it does take money to support the game. And so the logical folks, and frankly 80% of our revenues come from league memberships. And so if you love the game, you should support the game. In the end, it's $30 a year. We think
for a league member,
become a league member, and we hope people think we get a lot of value out of it, and would love to get more input. So let me talk about some of the things that the APTA initiatives are doing. There is again this sense of governing the game. We sanction over 150 tournaments, 30 national tournaments, championships. We maintain the rules and rule book. We maintain men's and women's rankings. We test and approve balls and paddles. We actually maintain a virtual Hall of Fame, really important to showcase our sport and ensure that our history is not lost. So those are kind of some of the things we do on the governance side of the equation. Then we do a lot of things to help communicate with our members and hopefully stimulate interest. The most important of that, of which is probably the Platform Tennis Magazine, the PTM. It's a fantastic magazine. It has done nothing but gotten better over the years. Ann Sheedy and Mindy Pike have done a fantastic job. So we get nothing but positive reviews about the magazine. And again, we are constantly looking for more ideas. So if you've got some, please send them to Ann's way in terms of that sort of thing. Secondly, we've got a website, and we've got to spend a lot of time and money in terms of putting together a website that is user-friendly, has a lot of information and content that we think our membership wants. There's the basics, tournament calendar, tournament results, rankings, but we also have a lot of news that I think is interesting, as well as instructional videos, talking about rules, et cetera, et cetera. So that is very important, and we're also just have a database, membership database initiative, which is a big task. Anybody who knows anything about IT infrastructure that we're doing, so we make sure that we can we know where all our members are, and we can communicate, and make sure that we're on top of that of our membership. Secondly, it's live streaming. Here we are, right? So this live streaming thing has just really come about in the last few years, and it's a fantastic way for people to follow what's going on in the game throughout the course of the year. And I will say each year it continues to get better and better. John Noble started really the initiative.
John's been tremendous with the live streaming.
He really has. And he's got us to start working with ENET, who's been fantastic. Jerry Vian has kind of taken the ball and running with it and really taken it to the next level. I think you guys will really enjoy these shows this year. We're going to do 7 of them. All of the Grand Prix events, the 5 Grand Prix events, one each month, October through February, and then the Nationals as well as the National Mixed. So the live streaming is a hugely important initiative for us. We think we can, kind of spread the gospel, if you will, for platform tennis much more broadly and get, league members, our rank and file folks, to not only get a chance to see a lot of the players when they come to town or their region once a year, but then to follow throughout the course of the year. So I think this is something that really does help further our mission, and it's very important, and we're spending a lot of resources on. Then we also have live scoring. This is something that's been fantastically successful as well. We do it now for 30 different tournaments, and so you can see what's going on in the tournament in terms of what the draws are, who's playing, how they've done, when the next matches are, how they've done in other tournaments. There's a nice database retrieval system where you can check and see how they've done in other tournaments and what they're ranked. So it's an excellent system that we continue to move forward. We're also doing things like maintaining a YouTube channel. Sarah Lanche has done a fantastic job with that and continues to support that, as well as a Facebook page. So if you're looking for videos, look at the APTA YouTube channel.
And the Twitter account she does as well.
That's another thing that is also very important and helpful. In terms of other APTA initiatives, we're actually spending money to help grow the game. The first I'd say is juniors, and so I say that broadly. Patty Hogan, right? He's the head of our junior committee and really just done a fantastic job. Support the APTA Viking Junior Tour. We underwrite the Junior Nationals. We pay for instructional videos. We allow for free entry or free balls for all the tournaments, and again underwrite the online registration. So, and we're doing a whole host of other things. Patty's got a blog that's fantastic, and so huge initiative for the juniors. I would also then next highlight our Grow the Game initiative, which basically provides grants and loans to public facilities.
And that used to be run by Peter Lauer, but is now run by Shannon Vincent?
Correct. And Shannon has taken this and run with the ball fantastically well, and Peter Wright was the
There's
initiator.
not much that Shannon doesn't take the ball and run with fantastic well, is there?
Touche. And I would also add that she is now the chair of our sponsorship committee, which is something that we're very optimistic about in terms of attracting.
I'm confident you'll
national corporate
find
sponsors.
some other committees for Shannon to run as well.
Probably will. And so, in terms of the Grow the Game, so we basically have a country club sport. I think we all know that. That's the heritage, and so we'd like to broaden that as a part of our mission. And so, what we're trying to do is encourage, and then if somebody's close to getting something to come to fruition, we basically end up being kind of the last bit to get them over the hump, and that's been a very successful thing. I think we've got 37 different public access facilities that we have supported.
I think I read that we're approaching close to $500,000 in grants and loans.
I think that is exactly right over the course of time, and it's something that we feel passionately about, that we'd like to continue to support the growth of the game. We also do clinics and exhibitions, and so a lot of times we'll provide a grant and then the next year come back and hire PPTA pros to come in and provide and do a clinic, and they've done a fantastic job. It gets a lot of attention and a lot of positive feedback, and it's another thing that we think is important for us in ways to grow the game. There's other things like supporting innovation. So, there's been talk of a radiant heat court for a long time, and some testing done by different folks, and Gene Kepner has kind of stepped to the plate here.
That's the court over at Exmoor in Chicago.
And got a court that is actually up and running and live right now, and the APTA helped sponsor that. And so we'll see what happens, but the idea is simply think of a driveway, radiant heat driveway, and so there's coils underneath. And that'll melt the snow off, and then we can have a surface that is not the sandpaper grit, which makes us more vulnerable to injuries, and as a little softer surface. And so we'll see how that goes. But it's an exciting initiative that we would support in terms of at least seeing where it goes. We also, again, provide assistance to tournament directors all over the country, direct assistance during the Grand Prix events, as well as the Nationals. And finally, what we think will help all of our league members around the country, which is a National League scoring system, and that we will pay for to host, as well as design, and it'll be state-of-the-art. And in Chicago, you'll see this year it up and running, and we're very confident it'll do the job and get very strong reviews and be helpful to our rank and file folks around the country.
Well, it sounds like there are lots of good things going on at the APTA, and you've got a terrific team around you, and we look forward to catching up with you later in the season and finding out how some of these initiatives have panned out.
Very good. Well, enjoy the live stream and have a great year on the course.
Thanks again, Scott.